Hi, Leanne and Jonathan. My name is Ben, and I'll be presenting today alongside Tommy, Chloe, and Emma. We are from Group 2, and we will be presenting our Blue Ocean strategy ideas that we have derived, as we believe these strategies will best address the problems currently faced by life education. Firstly, I thought I would start with a brief background of life education, as well as a summary of the problems that our strategies look to address. Life education's goals is to shape the awareness for youth of Australia in the current issues of personal and cyber safety, the implications of drug and alcohol use, the importance of how to look after your body, and the priority of a healthy diet, as well as the significance of your emotional and physical well-being. Life education currently attends preschools, primary schools, and secondary schools across the country. Life education distributes and personalises the learning outcomes of each state through their state-by-state syllabus, as well as an overview of the generalised Australian curriculum. As it stands, life education currently visits around 700,000 school students every single year. Any school can apply for a visit from life education, and each school visit is individually tailored to best address the needs of that school. Now, despite all this success, Jonathan raised a couple of key problem areas or challenges that life education is looking to address in the next 5 to 10 years. The first being to increase increase primary school students to 500,000. Currently sits around 250,000 students each year. They aim to reach within 350,000 to 400,000 within the next 3 to 4 years. They wish to grow their preschool and secondary school numbers from 3 to 5,000 to about 50 to 100,000. As well as this, they want to ensure that all systems put in place are done in the level that will be able to maintain and exceed these goals going forward. Now, to address all of these problems, our group has come up with the following 3 Blue Ocean strategy ideas that we believe will best enable life education to reach these goals. The first being an educational carnival, which Tommy will explore later. The second being adding additional modules to address non-customers, which Chloe will also explore. And lastly, the introduction of a training program, which Emma will explore further down the track. Now, before we explore these strategies, I'm going to give you a quick overview of the budget and how we got to this breakdown. So given the nature of life education, it is important to remember that the Blue Ocean strategies I just mentioned are not designed to generate revenue, but to achieve the overarching goals and address the problems aforementioned. Unlike most budgeting plans, it is harder to gauge the success of our budget, as there is no goal profit amount we are looking to achieve. With this in mind, our marketing budget was designed and implemented around how we believe we can best address the problems I first mentioned. Now, given the problems identified are all based around reaching a certain number of students, we will assess the success of our Blue Ocean strategies by gauging to see how many students we have reached through each of our proposed strategies. Now, more specifically, I'm going to quickly start with the carnival. Unsurprisingly, the carnival has the biggest chunk of the budget of around $1.2 million. Now, this is namely because there will be large upfront costs associated with the carnival, such as venue hire, PA hire, entertainment, facilities, food, staffing. As well as this, there will be a relatively large part of that $1.2 million given to the setup cost, and then the second biggest being the advertising. As you would appreciate, we will need to put a lot of money into advertising. We will do this through print media, social media advertising, in-school advertising, the use of school newsletters and emails, as well as banners at participating schools. It's going to be important to really get the word out there for these carnivals so that the best and the most amount of students are reached. And lastly, we've allocated about $100,000 in just ad hoc administration fees that will likely occur as a result of the carnival. Now, the major benefit of the carnival, which is quite unique to the rest of our strategy, is that a large chunk of this upfront money has the possibility of being re-earned through the sale of tickets. So the idea is, Tommy will explore later, that each student or school buys a ticket, which we can then use to offset these upfront setup costs. Now, the second biggest will be the training program, which we've allocated $500,000 to. Now, the reason for this is this training program is very unique and it's not something that life education currently has the resources for. So there will be large costs in hiring new staff to train on these new areas, developing the training program itself, setting up the training platform, and any certification costs that life education may need to pay in order to be able to teach this program. Similarly, there will be a large chunk associated to advertising, as we believe that in order to make this strategy successful, there's going to be quite a large upfront advertising cost. Again, we'll do this through print media, social media advertising, emails to non-customers, banners in public locations, and going into corporations and universities to pitch these art programs, which Tommy will explore in further detail later. Another benefit of this program is that, again, once this program is well established, we're of the view that it'll technically pretty much advertise itself. It'll be all done through word of mouth, through corporations, promoting the success of the life education training program that they just experienced through platforms such as LinkedIn, which currently life education does not have a big following on. Now, lastly, will be the introduction of online modules for non-customers, which Chloe will also explore in further detail. Now, we believe there will be a little setup cost in this, as essentially all it's going to be doing is converting pre-existing modules that life education already teaches into a new platform. It may need to create some new models to address any current knowledge gaps that life education believes that these non-customers will need to learn about. But most of it's already there, so we don't think there will be major setup costs involved in setting up this Blue Ocean strategy. Despite this, there still will be a relatively high advertising cost because, like we said, it's for non-customers. So again, through the use of print media, social media advertising, emails to non-customers, and banners in public locations, we believe life education will be able to create enough hype and generate a whole new target market, which again, Chloe will explore in more detail. Similar to the carnival, we've allocated about $50,000 in just maintenance fees because the modules will be taught online. There will need to be day-to-day maintenance of whatever platform life education believes is the best and most suitable to run these programs for. Now hand over to Tommy, who's going to explain the first Blue Ocean strategy, that being the carnival.
Hi, my name is Tommy, and today I'll be talking to you about how through the 4 actions framework and the price corridor of the Master's Blue Ocean tools, we're able to theorize a potential Blue Ocean market for life education. The price corridor and the masses help define individual willingness to contribute their own income towards a specific industry based on varying needs and desires. The 4 actions framework allowed us to understand factors that needed to be alternated in order to move out of a red ocean market. Through these changes, it led towards value creation based on Blue Ocean strategies. Based on the 4 actions framework, the purpose of the carnival was to reduce volatile funding of life ed as their reliance on outsourced funding is limited and could be reduced within the near future. The carnival was created to distinguish themselves from competitors by providing a unique and distinguishing offering. It will consist of varying activities that different schools are able to compete with each other. These activities will test the children's curriculum skills and provide forms of tokens for higher achievers in which they can trade in for special prizes or food. The carnival will also allow other non-for-profits to have stalls at the carnival in which they are able to promote their own products or services to their attendees. We have set the price to $20 based on the price corridor of the masses tool, as the value creation it provides attendees access towards multiple non-for-profit organizations all at once under one single price. It is through these factors that would entice target market growth based on the value creation provided by LifeEd. It would also create a new deliverable on how education can be targeted towards children through engaging in interactive activities. However, there are concerns about factors that would mitigate the introduction of Life Education Carnival. As LifeEd relies on outsourced funding, these individuals may not be willing to provide more towards the organization to fund the project, as large amounts of funding would be needed to establish However, there are concerns about the factors that would mitigate the introduction of Life Education Carnival. As LifeEd relies on the outsourced funding, these individuals may not be willing to provide more towards the organization to fund the project, as large amounts of funding would be needed to establish the idea towards fruition. Another major concern would be the COVID-19 pandemic, in which the government may deem it to be too dangerous to operate based on the large number of young individuals, in which would be harmful to those who attend, and would go against the social distancing rules. Ticket sales are also a concern, as there may be no demand for the service when introduced into the market. This could be challenging for Live Ed if they desire to use the carnival to improve their overall funding for other projects they have. Thus, based on these factors, the introduction of a carnival is plausible, but there are many factors to consider when approaching the Blue Ocean strategy. Chloe will now introduce the second Blue Ocean strategy.
Hi, I'm Chloe, and I will talk about our second idea, which is to add modules for live education's non-customer. So we use the 3 tier of non-customer to find out the non-customer group that live education can reach to. The first tier of non-customer are the high school students and university who might not need the service of live education anymore. And the second tier of non-customer are the homeschoolers who do not have access to live educations. So for now, in Australia, there are about 2,100 children who are undertaking homeschool educations. The third tier of non-customer are corporates, hospital, restaurant, and retail industry who might be in need of live education service in order to have hygiene in the workplace. So the mobile app will enable live education to cater for current non-customer market, which are homeschooling, university students, and students from rural or low socioeconomic areas. It can also be used for corporate or organization, but Emma will talk about the training program that is curated for the corporate and organization later. So the mobile app will be used as a subscription-based mobile app, and the main revenue stream will come from subscriptions and government funding. So live education will work with the university and organization to work on a subscription plan, and the university and organization can pass it to their student and members to have access for live education's program. And it will promise to bring out a better reach, because live education do not have to come to every school or every university or household to deliver their program and service. And the target is mentioned above. The main objective of this mobile app is to provide new models that fit the needs of the first and second tier of non-customer. And it can also align with live education's mission, which is to empower children and young people to make safer and healthier choice through educations. Now, however, there are still some constraints and limits to this online mobile learning idea. The first one is the usability with interface. So live education might have to work with a developer team or a designer to give out a user interface design that can be easy for the customer and bring a high customer retention. The second one is the further market research and competitive analysis to find out the competitors who might have offer the same services. There might be lack of incentive for individuals such as parent or homeschooler to purchase the app because they already have the resource online. And there are still some limit to people who are in the rural area if they do not have online resource or a computer to begin with. Another limit is the difficulty in raising funds for homeschool provided the current situation. So now the government is focusing more on releasing the relief package for Australian to financially support them through the pandemic. So it might be hard for live education to add for a grant or funding from organization and the government. And here is the demo prototype for live education's online mobile app. So live education can offer a different range of fields such as mental health, sex educations, or hygiene education for high school and university students. So this animated user-friendly app will promise to bring out the best for live education because it is easy to use and it is user-friendly. It is easy to use. And now I will pass for Emma to talk about our third tier of non-customer and the training program that is created for them. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emma. Today I'll be discussing our group's final recommendation of a training program for life education to implement, as this will assist in reaching a new target market revolving around the concepts of hygiene, mental health, and the implications of alcohol and illicit substances. A deeper understanding into the training program and why we have suggested this as a blue ocean strategy will be stated shortly. Firstly, the current blue ocean tools that have been analysed for the training program are the 3 tiers of non-customers and the strategy canvas. The training program's target market is placed within the 3rd tier of non-customers, as Life Education has not considered this consumer a possible customer. Life Education is able to attract this market through understanding their needs and wants through a post-pandemic society, growing concerns of mental health within a corporate, retail and restaurant industry, and the education of illicit substances and alcohol. As seen on the left, the graph showing is the Blue Ocean Strategy Canvas. This was used to evaluate the offerings of Life Education's competitors within the current market and the purpose the training program provides in comparison to their competitors. Through the industry analysis, we are able to see that the training program will provide an opportunity to enter into a new market, as the competitors have yet to include these programs within their companies. These 2 BOS tools are intended to capture the demand of a new market to enable Life Education to strive towards a blue ocean. The reasoning as to why we have chosen this training program is to reach, inform and educate a new target market within corporate, retail and the restaurant industry, as there is now a heightened emphasis on hygienic matters. The training program for the corporate industry regarding hygiene is improving their workplace sanitation, especially when corporations are implementing hot desking, which is workers not having a personally assigned desk, rather a desk on demand. In regard to retail and restaurant hygiene training program, this will include how to improve your work's overall hygiene and what guidelines to implement during a pandemic to ensure your business operates efficiently. Regarding to corporate, retail and restaurant mental health training, this ensures each employee has a healthy work-life balance. Each of the participants within these industries will receive a certificate at the end of their training course. The training program does not only target the new audience, but also targets an existing customer of school children. Due to COVID, there is a new market gap within the schooling industry to focus primarily on the overall importance of bodily hygiene, what steps are required pre- and post-pandemic, and the effects of alcohol and illicit substances. These modules are to be taught by medical professionals such as doctors and nurses. The critiques, constraints, risks and limitations of the training program is the technical advancements of the educational vans to equip hygienic sanitation, the theoretical limit on how many people can be certified, the medical professionals' availability, and the liability for certification. These constraints are a small consideration to reach a new blue ocean market within the current industry of external learning. In conclusion, our 3 reasonably budgeted blue ocean strategies of the carnival, adding modules as well as a training program provides Life Education to strive towards a blue ocean within an existing and new customer market. Thank you.